In a world where the balance of power is often dictated by technological prowess, recent US sanctions on Chinese companies have sent ripples across the global stage. The United States, in an effort to maintain its technological edge, has been embroiled in what can be described as a chip war with China. Part of this ongoing tussle involves the US imposing sanctions on Chinese semiconductor firms, particularly those linked to Huawei, a global leader in telecommunications and consumer electronics. These sanctions form a critical part of the US's broader strategy to boost its own manufacturing capabilities, particularly in the area of semiconductor production. By restricting access to Chinese firms, the United States aims to foster domestic industry growth and bolster its standing in global technology markets. However, this strategy is not without its countermeasures. China, in response to these sanctions, has started directing its electric vehicle manufacturers to prioritize local chipmakers over their US counterparts. This move could potentially impact major US companies like Nvidia and Apple, who have substantial business interests in the Chinese market. But the implications of these sanctions are not confined to the US and China alone. They have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond these two superpowers. One such consequence is the impact on Pakistan's missile project, which has suffered a significant setback due to these sanctions. Chinese firms now under US sanctions have been providing crucial components for Pakistan's missile program. With the new sanctions in place, these firms will no longer be able to supply the necessary parts, causing a major disruption in Pakistan's missile project. As this economic tug-of-war escalates, the consequences are felt far beyond the borders of both nations, with Pakistan's missile project becoming an unexpected casualty. Pakistan's missile project, a significant component of the nation's defense strategy, has been heavily reliant on Chinese technology. This project, a cornerstone of Pakistan's defense framework, has been bolstered by a strategic partnership with China, one that has allowed Pakistan to gain access to critical technology and expertise. This Chinese involvement has been instrumental in the development of a variety of missile systems, including both short-range tactical weapons and long-range ballistic missiles. The collaboration has been symbiotic, with China gaining a strategic ally in the region, while Pakistan has been able to leverage Chinese technology to bolster its defense capabilities. However, recent US sanctions on Chinese firms have thrown a wrench into this partnership. The sanctions aimed at Chinese companies that have allegedly provided technological inputs to Pakistan's missile project could potentially stall the project's progress. These firms, which have been crucial in supplying Pakistan with the necessary technology and components, are now faced with a significant challenge. The implications of these sanctions could be manifold. On one hand, they could severely hinder Pakistan's ability to continue developing and upgrading its missile systems, as the country may struggle to find alternative sources of technology and expertise. On the other hand, these sanctions could also strain the relationship between Pakistan and China, potentially reshaping geopolitical dynamics in the region. Furthermore, these sanctions could have a ripple effect on other sectors as well. For instance, they could impact the broader defense industry in Pakistan, potentially leading to job losses and economic setbacks. Additionally, they could also affect other countries that rely on Chinese technology for their defense projects, leading to a global re-evaluation of defense partnerships and strategies. With these sanctions in place, Pakistan's missile project stands to lose significant momentum, a situation that could drastically alter the nation's defense landscape. The far-reaching impact of these sanctions extends beyond the confines of a single project, influencing global political dynamics and the future of technological advancement. Indeed, the ripples from these sanctions are felt far and wide, shaking not just the foundations of Pakistan's missile project, but also sending tremors through the global landscape of power and technology. The clampdown on Chinese firms, ostensibly targeted at a specific project, may inadvertently reshape the geopolitical chessboard. On one hand, there's the possibility of a shift in alliances. Sanctions, by their nature, tend to push the targeted entities to seek alternatives, fostering new partnerships and relationships. This could potentially lead to a reconfiguration of the global power dynamics, with nations and corporations realigning in the face of these sanctions. On the other hand, we've got the future of technology development, particularly in the realm of defense technology. The sanctions may spur a sense of urgency, a race against time for countries and companies to develop homegrown technologies and reduce dependency on external inputs. This could lead to a surge in innovation, but it could also lead to a technology arms race, with nations striving to outdo each other in their technological prowess. And then there's the potential response from other nations and international bodies. Will they stand by as silent spectators or step into the arena to mediate, negotiate, or even escalate? The global community's reaction to these sanctions could significantly influence the trajectory of this unfolding drama. Let's not forget the potential economic implications. The sanctions could impact global supply chains, disrupt markets, and potentially trigger a domino effect on the global economy. The tremors from these sanctions could indeed be felt in the pocketbooks of ordinary citizens around the world. As the dust settles on this latest development, the world watches with bated breath, awaiting the next move in this high-stakes game of global power and technology. In this game, every move matters, every decision has repercussions, and every action echoes across the globe. As we navigate these turbulent times, one thing is clear: the world as we know it is changing, and we are all a part of this global dance of power and technology. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the intricate web of international politics and technology. The US-China-Pakistan triangle is a fascinating case study of global power dynamics and the role of technology in shaping our world. If you found this video informative and would like to keep up with the latest developments in global politics, technology, and their intersection, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us delve deeper into these issues and bring you well-researched, comprehensive content. Stay tuned for more insights on global politics, technology, and the myriad ways they intersect and influence each other. Until our next video, we encourage you to stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay safe. Remember, knowledge is power, and in a world that's constantly changing, staying updated is key. Thank you once again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.